Yo, 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 married to greatness. It's been a little bit of a minute. And I'm definitely a bit rusty. But yeah, let's see how this goes. I suppose from the last time I done a video, I was primarily speaking around, semen retention videos and my journey so far in that landscape. So I spoke around the benefits of it. So I know even a few people still watch that video for the show The Power of YouTube actually. So I've talked about the benefits of like semen retention, tap into your true self, etc. And that was all part of that journey to self-love, to be honest with you, because even before that, I was addicted to different things like alcohol, like adult material, for example. And that was my way to give back on my journey. So it's been a little bit of time since I've done a YouTube video. And I can't really and truly going forward, I want to really show the practical, actionable benefits of semen retention. So what I've been able to do since my last video was alongside Lee, my co-founder, we've created a company called Wimpact that primarily discusses intelligent accountability. And that's a big thing for me. So especially around like semen retention, self-discipline, self-mastery, intelligent accountability, and being accountable to yourself is very important. And in terms of these videos going forward, I want to make sure that I hold myself accountable to each and every single one of you. So we created a tech tool that really leverages data and people to hold yourself to account. And I'm going to be doing it, especially as this year is going to be a lot more around personal branding. 2025 is, when people say it's going to be a new year, new me, definitely this year is going to be more about personal branding, showing the public who I am in an authentic way, in a raw way. And I'll be holding myself to account on camera using Wimpact, so using the tool. And for me, this is really a practical way to demonstrate the power of semen retention in terms of you can channel your creativity, you can network, you can build products. And again, I'm just holding myself to account and hopefully we can learn from it, to be honest with you. So this is the first one. I'll be doing this every Sunday. So this is the first one. So let me just share my screen. Even just log into the tool. Okay. I'll share my screen. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Yeah, all good. So if I log in, so a lot of people, especially when it comes down to like New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, I've seen a lot of people saying, this year they're going to start to do things differently. This year is going to be a new change. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Typically, what I've tried to do and what we do at Wimpact is start with your identity. So this is my real account that I use. This is how I frame everything that I'm going to go by. So I'm just going to go through it one by one, so you guys can see what identity I would need to take on to then achieve the type of goals. So you need to become the person first, then identify the goals, and then describe how you're going to be able to do it. So like a who, what, how type of framework. So for me, I'll zoom in because when I've tested this before, it was quite blurry. So for me, the first one is I'm a highly energized and vibrational vessel. So this definitely locks in with knowledge of self, self-mastery, and my why is that I do genuinely understand the law of vibration, that we are all vibrational beings. So it's important for me that I marry my conscious and my unconscious. So typically, that's going to be very important to be able to ensure that I can give my essence to the world and ensure that I'm highly energized, I'm building the right relationships, I'm taking the right risks, I've got the right mental mindset and the right positive mindset to then take things to the next level. Secondly is I'm respectful of my temple. So I think everyone can pretty much agree that if you're not really respecting yourself, especially your own body, how can other people respect you? So from my perspective, my why is that a healthy temple is critical for me to accomplish my mission. And by having optimal health, it's a symptom of self-discipline, self-love, and pure confidence. Next one is I am constantly leaning in. So I'm constantly stretching myself and learning, and it's important to continuously learn. And what's interesting is that for last week, I took my fiance to see the Michael Jackson theatre production in London. And then she knows me well, so she knows that once I get once I get an idea of a concept, I've got quite an obsessive personality, and I tend to really immerse myself in the subject. I really try to read around it. And one thing that stood out to me was that on Oprah's interview with Michael Jackson, she asked towards the end, "So what do you definitely know?" And then he responded, "I'm still learning. I'm genuinely still learning." And that's when I knew that that's my guy. There's a reason why I'm tapped into it, because we're all still learning and we're all having to constantly lean in, and it's very important. Next one is I am aligned and connected to myself and my environment. So again, this is around how do I serve the world from my essence? Do I feel connected internally? Am I disciplined? Am I showing myself love? And that's the way that I can then help other people and show love to other people as well. Next one is I'm a free thinker and distributor of ideas. So this is all around like personal brand stuff. So am I really channeling myself creatively to be able to give back? And this is all, and it will make sense in terms of how I'm looking to play this in 2025. Next one is I'm a master orator. It's very important to be able to articulate yourself. It's very important to communicate in different environments, and words are powerful. I don't want to even, when we understand the power of words and the fact that the meaning of the word is embedded in the actual word, we would know that we have to make sure that we're cultivating that type of skill, cultivating that type of talent. I am a leader to my wife. I think that's a no-brainer, especially when you're on senior retention. You start to respect yourself a lot more, and you understand it is then your duty to, guide your wife. It's your duty to lead by example. I'm a pillar of my family. It's a similar situation, but that's definitely what's on my mind around that identity is to ensure that the younger generations see a way as well, and we can all move together in harmony and love. And this is something that I took, well, not really took, but this is something that I really got inspired by when I was doing some research in terms of Jewish families. They're very tight-knit and they have their principles as the foundation. And for me, this is something that I'm looking to really replicate in my family. And then the next one is I am a sonic distributor of ideas. So I have the ability to, I'm classically trained. I have a talent to create music. I'll speak about it, but in previous experiences, I've actually been able to travel around the world with my musical ability, and definitely it's a gift, and it's something that I can't neglect, and I need to make sure that I do it in the right type of way. I think at this point in time of my life at the moment, I understand that it's a talent, and I understand that it's my duty to leverage that talent and give back. And I'm on the right track in terms of understanding how that can look and how that can manifest. So definitely feeling excited about that. So these are the main identities that I would need to incorporate moving forward. So let me just, before I share my scoreboard for next season, let me just make a few changes. So that's the first bit. So my identity is there. So it's pretty clear. Let me show you my scoreboard for this season. So the way Impact works, it works in seasons. So each season comprises of 3 months. So this is from January to March. And as opposed to understanding what specific tasks I would need to complete, it's mainly based around which activities do I need to do on a repeated basis to drive consistency. So it's more around consistency as opposed to task-based, if that makes sense. So the first one for 2025 anyway is, and another thing as well, you can tell this is like raw, like there's no edits in this. This is literally just me articulating my thoughts. What's important as well is that, again, most of us, when we're trying to do 2025 and, you know, it's a brand new year and it's a brand new opportunity, it's very much, there's no real strategy to it. But especially when I was planning this out and getting my right framework, how I use this tool as well is that it's more around the right infrastructure. So especially when, you know, if you don't have your own plan, you're going to be working on somebody else's plan. When you have your own plan, you need the right infrastructure to be able to understand how you as a human being are able to actually carry this out. And it's around the identity. What identity are you taking on? What's your long-term strategy? Which I'll probably go into next week in terms of my 10-year goals, etc. And then what do you need to do on a week-to-week basis? So this is what I need to do on a week-to-week basis. So my key goals really for the next 3 months is not getting burnt out. Typically, and definitely as a creative, I've sometimes struggled with energy levels. You know, we want to do so much. There's so much that we can do, but, you know, we can do anything, but we just can't do everything. So in order to regulate that, my burnout levels need to be good. So my key goal really here is to ensure that my burnout level is 2 or less. So that's my burnout level here, and why is it's linked to my identity in terms of being a highly energized and vibrational vessel. I'll be measuring my burnout level here, so it hasn't really started yet. And the activities that I'll be doing on a week-to-week basis is taking a day of rest, again, influenced by Jewish culture, where they take typically Saturday as a Sabbath. Now, what I typically do on a Saturday is I go to the spa, go to the sauna, go to the jacuzzi, and just chill. Literally just chill. I'll be there for a few hours. I may go to the gym in the morning, but I typically just chill and make sure that I get my day of rest and my day of self-love, essentially, and just can recalibrate in that space. The second activity is around meditation and praying twice a day, each day as well. It's always good to tap into that voice in the back of my head and listen to it. So it tells me things, and I need to really be able to meditate on that and fill my mind with thoughts that I want to share myself with, because we're so impressionable. There's so much information that's flying around. We hardly get time for ourselves. So this is definitely at least twice a day. I've got time for myself. Of course, SEMA retention 7 days per week. We're still on that. It's been maybe around 4 months that I've been retaining for at the moment. So definitely looking to continue retaining throughout the rest of this season. So the next 3 months. 10-minute visualization, again, visualizing what my day is going to look like and staying focused on that and really crystallizing that image in my head. And then this is what I got from Napoleon Hill. So read my definite purpose twice a day, each day. So one thing, especially as I started that journey on SEMA retention, what stood out for me was that it really made me understand my purpose. So it really made me understand, what am I really here for? How am I going to give back to the world? And once I was able to understand that, and that was around to be the vessel and ripple effect for people to never waste their talent, that's where the idea started to come. So I not only need to remind myself that, but I need to really bring emotion into that and really make it happen. Next one is I have a relationship health level 2 or less. So this is around I'm a leader to my wife. So being a strong leader in the household is important. So yeah, for me to be able to do anything useful, there needs to be harmony between myself and my fiance, and I'll be measuring my relationship health levels. So at the moment, the main activity would be to go on one date night each fortnight. I may add more activities together that we should be doing together, but yeah, for now we'll see. We'll see. So I need to start planning what that would look like, or what the date night would look like next week as well, actually. And these are all part of my 12-week goals. So again, I'm not looking for the big bang in terms of 2025. Everything's going to change. It's more about what can I do consistently to maintain and grow what I have, and doing it in an orderly way that makes sense and that's actually feasible. Dedicating myself to continuous learning. So it's all like we're always learning. I'm always looking to learn new things as well. So I've recently been, or for the past 3 months or so, I've been learning French and Duolingo. That's really helped just in terms of understanding language and being able to break down words and use a different part of my mind to think. In my head, actually, I hadn't always been the best at languages. However, I think today will be day 100 of studying French, like a 100-day streak on Duolingo. So for me, it really does demonstrate that it's consistency. Like consistency is everything. And to be able to be consistent and focused will get you where you need to go. And over time, you'll get mastery. So it's just taking each day at a time. So studying French, reflect for 1 hour per week on what accurate information I would need to move towards my goals. So that's definitely something I would need to do on a weekly basis. So it's understanding, okay, cool. What have I been able to do? Perhaps where do I need to lean more into it? And then doing the right research to then understand the type of solutions that I can pick up as well. So definitely that's an activity I'll be taking on board. Learning Yoruba for 10 minutes for 6 days per week. Again, similar to the French, I hadn't really learned Yoruba in that much detail, to be honest with you. And for me, it's a good thing to do. It's a very good thing to do. I think something came up. But for me, it's a very good thing to do. Especially, it's my culture. It's part of that. So I've got family from Ogun State in Nigeria, and growing up in London, it's a whole different way of thinking. So from a language perspective and a cultural perspective, I definitely want to lean more into Yoruba, understand it more. And then the final part of constantly leaning in, which is one of my goals, to complete at least two of these goals per week, is read 1 chapter of Napoleon Hill's Laws of Success per week. So next week I'll have a summary of what I read, what I learned, and how I've tried to apply it. And then I can hold myself to account here as well. A few more, so it's quite busy. So I've remained under 10% body fat. Again, this is aligned to I am respectful of my temple. So to be honest with you, I had been going to the gym regularly over the past, for a while now, actually, coming up to 2 years. I've been going to the gym regularly. I've been on it. I'm leaning more into calisthenics. So I do typically do pull-ups, etc. But I am leaning more into calisthenics. And for me to do that, I do need to, and one of the reasons why I want to do that is calisthenics has a big focus on self-mastery. Times you can go to the gym and you don't have to go that hard, like you're doing your weights, you're doing whatever you need to do, and you're gone. But calisthenics does require more of a lifestyle change in terms of what you're eating, how well you're sleeping, and then how well that you can push yourself. So I am leaning more towards calisthenics. So the body fat part is just more of a goal for me to ensure that I stay disciplined, especially from a diet perspective. And that's very important. For too long, I've been eating way too much sugar, and even though I've been relatively healthy, I don't think I've been able to hit peak performance especially from a physical perspective. So again, I'm holding myself to account. This is what I'm going to be doing going forward. So body fat percentage, I'll be measuring that towards the end of the week. So probably on Saturday. The way that I'll keep under 10% body fat and are primarily going to be these activities. So complete 5 gym sessions per week. So I've already done one today, which is good. Eat an average of 175 pounds of protein, which is necessary actually, especially what I mentioned around if you're eating poorly, you're going to be struggling on those pull-ups. You're going to be struggling on a lot of different things that you would need to do. So eating an average 175 pounds of protein is important, as well as just overall eating clean. But I've done well so far, to be honest with you. The way that I'm measuring my protein is via MyFitnessPal, and the way that I'll be measuring my body fat is I've got scalpers, I think, or calipers, sorry. Can tell this is unedited one. Calipers to measure 3 points on my body, so my chest, my abs, and my thighs, as well as my body weight. And there's a calculation that we'll do, and then it will determine what my body fat percentage is. And then finally, completing a 5K run. So I typically do this on Sunday. So I've done it already today. This is it here. Yeah, so I've done it this morning. It wasn't my fastest run, to be honest with you. The conditions wasn't that great as well. It was quite windy, and I'm in England as well, so it was raining a lot, but I was able to hit the target. So a big reason on why I do my 5K immediately when I wake up on a Sunday is that it just starts my day off properly. So it starts the momentum going, and it sets me up for success, essentially. Sets me up for success. So those are those goals. And then content creation. So a big thing that I'm going to be leaning on for the next 3 months would be content creation, especially looking at creating authentic pieces of art that represents me. That's really for my essence. As I did mention when I described my vision, I can play classical music. I'm classically trained as a pianist. So I will be creating 3 original compositions per week. I typically just start to play things on the piano, and it just creates something that is just natural and organic. So I'll be doing that. I'll be capturing my daily activities every day, and that will be used as part of the reels. So the reels will be more messages to myself. I had done them at some point in 2024, and people really resonated with it. So I'll be doing that much more going forward, discussing different topics that I've learned, different experiences, etc. And again, just making it more relatable, because people speak to me in person and they ask a lot of questions. They're quite inquisitive. So it's just more about sharing myself, to the world. And then finally, I have voiced over and compiled 3 videos per week. So I'm only really looking to upload 2 Instagram Reels and TikToks per week. However, I do want to create 3 just to have some type of overlap and a buffer. So I'm never really stretched or desperate to create. So it can just be more organic, and there's less pressure, less time pressure. Next one is I have completed and published 84 journal entries on Substack. So Substack is something I saw online, and I was inspired by it, just creating and documenting your day-to-day life. And I'll be using it more as an online journal. So again, what's going through my mind, definitely as like an entrepreneur, somebody that takes my health seriously, someone that, is about to get married, a man on his journey, self-discovery, like semen retention, self-mastery, and just overall being a creative as well. So because I understand how it feels, especially I'm a creative at heart, to be honest with you. So most of my life I've been creating something. And the only reason this whole structure has come about was because I was taking on too much. And I needed a way, like a infrastructure to identify where perhaps I'm taking on too much, where I can optimize, and where I can really ensure that my own talents don't go to waste. So I've been speaking about that thought process on my Substack, and it's just more of an online journal, to be honest with you. So the way I'll be doing that, I'll be doing 84. So basically, one a day. Is that one a day? So what's 13, 12 times? Yeah, one a day. So you wouldn't think I've got a master's degree, but so the way I do it, so I'll journal my voice note. So I'll voice note my journal, apologies. And so I do that just as I'm out and about, and then I'll put that into AI, and then AI will then upload it into Substack. So that says Substack, so I need to edit that. It's crazy. Again, this is unedited, my guy. Substack. And then finally, this. So a big thing that I wanted to do was create more content that was just real. You know what I mean? Just real, authentic. There's no, fancy editing behind it. It's literally what's really happening, like what's actually happening on my day-to-day. And I think a really powerful way to do that is by recording these videos. So these videos are more accountability sessions for me to you, where I'm going through my scoreboard, I'm keeping myself to account, and it's just being real. So I'll be sharing like successes, areas of improvement, and perhaps, if it's working for me, it can work for you, type of thing. But this is just how I think about it. I try and break it down simply and then focus on the consistency of things. There's a lot of videos out there that speak about be consistent. But this is infrastructure to enable you to do so. So hopefully you find these videos useful, valuable, and you get some insight in terms of how I think about it. And then if you have any questions or anything like that, I'm happy to answer. But this will be the main videos I'll be uploading. I may upload the reels and TikToks as well, based off the output of this. So what I've just spoke around. But if there's any other videos you want me to create as well, feel free just to message me or comment, and then I'm happy to pick it up and see what I can do. So this is the overall plan for the next 3 months. Like I said, it's more based on, let me zoom out quickly. It's more based on the right type of behaviors and consistency, as opposed to like a big bang. And it's more based off the type of person I would need to become in order to achieve these goals as well. So I've been using this for a while now, and I've seen so much success in terms of, I know now perhaps areas that don't really make sense for me to look into now. If that makes sense. I've been able to quickly prioritize the activities that make sense now, focus on that, execute it well, push myself. And now I'm just in a season of the raw, authentic content. Like, just literally, this is my process. I'm happy to help. content creation as well. So how can I create content that is real and help people and just serving people? So that's where I'm at the moment. So yeah, so that was the main angle. That was the main angle. Let me see. Yeah, that was the main angle really for this session. It was just more about showing you my vision, my different identities, and then how I'm looking to track that in what I call the scoreboard, how that would then manifest over time. The good thing about the scoreboard is that it's more of a heat map. So it's a heat map of what good looks like. So every time I hit it will turn green, and if I miss the mark, it will turn red. But it shows me quickly where I need to focus my attentions on, where perhaps I'm not really doing too much, and I then need to sacrifice that goal or shift things around. So it's very powerful in that type of way. So with that being said, I'll call it short there. So let me know if you have any feedback for these types of videos, anything that you would want to see. If you like this video, feel free to click like, and it can go to other people similar to you that may want their own infrastructure for 2025. Subscribe if you haven't already to follow this journey, and comment again anything that you want to see, any changes you want. This is definitely a collaborative effort. I'm here for service, most importantly. But yeah, man, have a blessed evening. It's always love, and we'll speak soon. Blessings.